So I've used Hollyland products quite a number of times in my previous productions, and it was amazing. But honestly speaking, I've never owned one because I've been always either renting one or just borrowing from another person. So I wanted to review this product and I couldn't afford to rent another one. So I just called up Hollyland and see if they are willing to loan me one. And surprisingly, they graciously sent me a unit of Hollyland Mars 400S. So just to quickly bring you through the features of Hollyland Mars 400S, it has both HDMI and SDI inputs and outputs. It has less than 0.1 second latency, and it has OLED display screen, a mini OLED display screen, which also gives you the low battery warning indicator. The low battery indicator is not a major thing to me because one Sony MPF battery lasted more than half a day in one of my shoots, which is pretty damn good because this kind of tells you that the battery consumption in this is very low. So this has 3 application scene modes. Basically, it prioritizes video shooting over video quality, or low latency, or a balance between both of video quality and latency. So it depends whether your environment has a lot of interference in terms of connectivity. If there is, for example, if there's a lot of walkie-talkie or any other radio connection, then it will prioritize latency over video quality, or vice versa. And lastly, my most favorite feature, it is the iOS and Android app monitoring. Essentially turning your phones and your tablets into monitors. So coming from the days of filmmaking with mini DV tapes and basically early digital film days, I'm actually not that old, I'm only 33. This thing actually doesn't have a HDMI. It actually uses this, I don't know, CMYK and AV in, AV out kind of cables. Basically the white, yellow, red cable that you see back in your parents' day. But it's pretty cool. Back then they really have flip screens. And it's Canon. So reason number 1, turning your device into a monitor. So this is my first and most favorite reason, because a few years ago, before I get to know about Hollyland, basically I only knew that TerraDeck existed, and the piece of technology is freaking expensive for anyone to own, and we only can rent it. And I always wanted to turn one of my old iPads into a monitor, or even my phone, but it was impossible back then because there was no such app or technology back then. But now you have Hollyland because they have this awesome feature which is too damn good for me. Probably for the new generation of filmmaker, this is like expected because technology is like damn advanced now. But for a guy who is like from the old time, or basically like in the in-between generation, this is crazy good. But let's just take a moment to appreciate this feature. Because if you go to a client shoot and you have everything set up, you're about to execute your complicated shot, but your client stand next to you and look down into your monitor, and then because they're so close to you, they breathe down onto your neck, it doesn't feel that great. So with this Hollyland product, you essentially allow them to view your shots from a distance, either from a director's monitor, a field monitor being the tiny monitor that you can put on your camera or other places, or you can ask them to just download the Hollyland app and connect to your device. It will probably just take them around 5 minutes if their connection is good, and it'll take another 1 minute just to enter the password and connect into the device, which you can ask them to do when you are setting up your scene or your camera or your lights. So you're basically doing everything in the beginning. If you're a director and you own one of this, just pass it to your DP or your cam op and let them connect it up. Once it's set up, you are free to monitor this from a safe distance, and this could be a director's essential kit too. So number 2, cables. So yeah, this is a pretty damn thick cable. So I bought one of this 10-meter cable that cost me about 400 to 500 ringgit, and I've been using it for almost all of my commercial shoots because we need a big ass monitor. And the irritating thing about this is pretty heavy, And every time I need to move the camera, I need to move the entire camera plus monitor plus this thing all together. And normally I would tape this down on the floor, so if I were to move the camera, then I have to pull out all the tapes, and yeah, it's pretty big hassle. So you can imagine I would have to move the director's monitor, pull out the tapes, take the cable, take the table that supports the director's monitor, take all the chairs that the client was sitting on, and take everything else like the laptops and stuff and move all together close enough to the camera so that the cable can connect. And because the cable is so heavy, it also puts a little bit of weight on the back of the camera, making the whole camera, tilt down on the back. With Hollyland Mask 400S, it won't exactly eliminate all cables, but you can use much shorter cable, which I forgot over there again. So yeah, basically much shorter cable. So I have this short spring HDMI cable, which essentially helped keep my camera setup much compact, because you can actually pull it much longer or just leave it like that. So with a short HDMI cable like mine, the spring version, you just connect up to your Hollyland, and this is pretty compact. And on the other end of the receiver, just put up another HDMI or SDI to connect to your monitor. So number 3, production value. So this is not so much about making your production look better, and it's not so much about pleasing your client, although it does make the production experience much more, hassle-free. It is also not so much about making your camera or your BTS look better, but it's more about allowing your team to perform better by solving monitoring problems. Let's put it this way. As a DP or a cam op, we need space to perform our best. And I'm not talking about physical space, like people being near you and everything, but also about mentally. I mean, we don't like to be disturbed when we are trying to execute our shot, and we don't like to feel or smell or hear someone's breath right next to our ear or our face, because the monitor is right, in front of our face. And having all this disturbing us will kind of affect us when we are trying to do our shots. So creating that distance will really help the DP or the cam op or whoever is trying to get the shot. And having the director or the producer to view the shot from a distance, it's not so much of pushing them away or whatever, but it's more to give them the space to focus on the story and also build the production value. Not only the director or the producer, but also the art director. He can use this to view his set from a phone or his tablet or even another monitor while he's building the entire scene, and he doesn't have to run back and forth. Because I used to have this problem where the art director and his team will take quite a lot of time to set up the scene, because they need to run back and forth, looking at the camera, run back to the scene, setting up the box or whatever it is, and then run back to the camera to see if it's right. And this takes a lot of time, it wastes a lot of time. So by having this wireless monitor, you obviously can save a lot of time, and it will be a lot more convenient for the production team. You can also use this to rig a wireless focus puller monitor setup, but I would recommend that you need a higher end system to try eliminate any latency. So, do you need a wireless video transmitter? In my personal experience through the years, 100% yes. It is so much more accessible these days either to rent it or buy one, and there's a lot of unnecessary problems that could have been solved by just getting this. As an entrepreneur in the film industry, this means less stress for myself and my team. And when I got this, it quickly became one of my most favorite pieces of technology for filmmaking. Sometimes it is so easy to take this for granted, but when you have experienced all these unnecessary problems throughout your entire film productions, you will totally love this piece of technology. Hollyland has a range of products from consumers to professionals, and if you follow their products from about a year ago up to now, You can see that they're listening to their users and they continue to build the products better and better, either for their consumer level or for their professional levels. The only thing I wish they would develop for their products is to give a Canon LPE6 battery powering options on the back here. But like I said earlier, they're making their products better and better, and they're already heading towards built-in batteries. And their newer designs has no antenna. So Hollyland is heading in the right direction. So that's it for this video. Do subscribe and like if you haven't already. I'll be doing a giveaway and lucky draw when I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers. I know that's not a big number, but it is a significant number for me. So if you've already subscribed, you have already placed your chances, so that's good for you. But if you haven't, do click that button. Till then, I'll see you guys next time. Like Ryan said, smash that like button. Like Ryan Chin at what's your tag, Instagram tag again? Ryan Narrow Chin, something like that.
What? It's rhinoceros.
Oh, rhinoceros. Oh my gosh, I never realized.
You did something wrong.
I'm so sorry, I never realized.
Rhinoceros.
So like Ryan Chin at Rhinoceros said, smash that like button for me or smash that subscribe button for me.